Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Ghost Recon Future Soldier Elite Difficulty video walkthrough. We're now in sunny Africa, and this is the mission Subtle Arrow. So, we're still going to be introduced to a lot of the mechanics of the game, like crouching for a few seconds to activate optical camo, like that. But it's going to give us much more free reign than the last mission did. This one is a lot more wide open. And we're pretty much going to be moving towards a camp that is reminiscent of something, you know, from District 19, or whatever it's called, the Prawn movie with the South Africans. And what's going to be happening is you're going to be eliminating dudes along the way until you get to a truck driver, and then there's the opportunity to do some stealthing if you want to. So this is a mechanic you're going to be doing for the rest of the game. You're going to be moving into an area, you're going to see some enemies, and then you're going to try and figure it out as if it was a big puzzle, what path and what order to kill the enemies in, so that you don't get spotted and you don't alert their friends. And sometimes it's simple, like this one, where you can just, you know, use the slow motion from the synchronized shot to pop one of their buddies, like I did just then. And other times it's much more difficult. But if you can figure them out, you can get through areas without being seen. It's not the end of the world if you get seen, it just means you'll generally have to kill a couple more people than you should. And this guide's not going to show you the best way to handle every one of those situations, because I haven't put enough time in to find out what is the stealthy choice. And to be completely honest, I do enjoy shooting dudes occasionally, so I don't really mind when the shit hits the fan. But like just then, whenever that emblem comes up telling you somebody's looking your way, always go prone. It should soon evaporate. If it doesn't, you're probably going to get spotted, because if it doesn't disappear when you're laid down, you're shit out of luck, basically. But the synchronized shot is an interesting one. You are the fourth member of your team. So whenever they're saying like waiting on one member, it's generally you. So if you see three of them but the fourth one's not filled up and you're wondering why it's not filled up, it's because you need to aim yourself. And to trigger the synchronized shot so that it does the slowdown, all of them have to be blue, which means your aim needs to be on the guy's face or on his torso long enough for a line to come from your gun. When they're all synchronized, when you fire, it will make everyone else fire, and you'll get a couple of brief slow motion moments to show you that you did something good. A little technique that I've developed from that is to use those couple of seconds to look around for anybody else and to shoot them as well. And it's just a little tactic that's going to help you along the way. And if you don't want to shoot them and you want to trigger your team, all you do is you hold the right bumper and your team will execute on cue. But as I mentioned, I don't do all of these flawlessly, so here I go taking a couple of guys down. This is a pretty decent optic actually, and you'll notice I'm trying to shoot through some of the cover. The reason for that is some of the cover is destructible and some of the rifles will go through pretty much all the covers. And when I start using a sniper rifle later on, I'm going to be wall banging like a chief, because it's so useful on these games. It's really, really useful. But just keep on pushing forward, keep on using your UI, and you're going to be introduced to another interesting mechanic, which is a little contrived, but you know, it's the future, so why not? And that is this magnet vision. So if you ever played Splinter Cell, you'll know that you had different vision modes and they did different things. Well, on this game you get a unique vision mode called magnet mode, and what this does is this highlights any metal on a target, and I'm assuming that all these people have adamantium skeletons because you can see their entire bodies when you put this mode on. And it's kind of, think of it as detective vision. There's going to be environments where you need to look through surfaces, and this vision mode's going to help you. So use it as much as you can. One thing I'm going to say here, guys, is I appreciate that it's not the most visually interesting game to look at through that vision mode, so I'm going to try and use it as little as I possibly can. But the first time I played through this game, I never took it off. It is so useful. But did you see that just then? That is me exploiting that prone and you're completely invisible feature. So this section here, it says infiltrate on the objective, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get to the end without noticing by anybody, basically. And you can kill these guys, you can shoot some people. I'm even going to get to a section where I think you've got to shoot some people to get forward, because I couldn't get past them and my team were all saying things, so I kind of reacted. But for the most, you can Splinter Cell your way through this. Don't worry about the civilians. The civilians will get spooked, but it doesn't cause an alarm or anything. It's just realism. And another note on civilians, you can kill them and you will fail if you kill them. There's a mission coming up where there's a bunch of parked cars and you've got people shooting at you. The amount of times I failed the game because I shot people because I was trying to find bad guys and they were running in front of my gun. I don't even want to go into it, so I've got a lovely cheesy technique for that road now so that you don't have to worry about that possibility. But right now, this is when it wants you to do a sync shot. Do you notice how it says losing signal? That means I can't go any further, and that means I have to take down these guys. So tag them all, get your team to do the dirty work if you want to, and then you can continue onwards. But just bear in mind, whenever it says losing signal, even if you're moving towards the objective, it just means that something needs to happen before you get there. And the crossfade means that there's been a cutscene, because I've trimmed it out and I couldn't get it to sync up very well, so I dropped a crossfade on there to make it look a little bit more pleasant. And this is a lovely follow mission. So we have to keep this guy. I don't really know what the fail capacity is. It's probably if he gets too far away from you, or if he sees you, but for the most this game is pretty lenient when it comes to these moments. They have to get quite some distance away from you for you to fail, and I do believe that the writing, the meters, if it goes red, that means you're in trouble of failing. But this guy never gets that far away if you're doing this correctly, and I'm going to hopefully get past this area without anybody seeing me. And I found this section kind of funny because we spend all this time stealthing our way around, and we kill him on the next section. It's like, why don't we just pop him now? I don't get it. If anybody's wondering how to do those rolls while you're prone, just double tap a direction on the analog when you're laid down, and it'll make him do those handy little turns. Here the game's trying to tell us about magnet goggles. But yeah, unfortunately the campaign is kind of buggy, as I've mentioned. There's one section where a cutscene plays out on a mission, and if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you'll just come back from the cutscene dead. And I'm not sure if it's because the enemies killed me during the cutscene, or if I was just in the wrong spot, which was automatically a kill switch. But that is not cool. And the final section of the game is another one of this where you've got to make sure that two guys don't get away from you. And these guys are running away from you, so you need to follow them really aggressively. And when the spawning enemies in left, right and centre, and you're trying to chase a dude who's getting away from you, it's just not fun. But hopefully when I get there I'll be able to show you the way I did it, and hopefully I'll be able to get through it just the same way I did. But I was getting frustrated, guys, I'm not going to fucking lie. I had to turn the game off last night because I was getting really mad. But just keep on following Macabre. And what's going to happen here is, for some reason I forgot that there is a cutscene a couple of yards in front of where I am. There's a handy invisible trigger, and I lay down because I didn't want to get spotted so late on in this section. And all I should have done is moved forward. I could be crawling now and I probably wouldn't get spotted, but I watched this guy for some reason. And it's just my unfamiliarity with the game, so right now you are safe to move forward. I just didn't realise, and I'm kind of being super stealth mode. But there's another crossfade. And now it's time to kill the general guy. So if you tag the first 4 people in this area, you should be able to take them all down silently, and that opens up your path to the next section of the level. You can kill that guy later on, over on this section, when he stands over here, but I did it at the start and I take down these 4 guys anyway. So just use your magnet vision to see people through surfaces if you can't quite see if the area is clear. If you need any further analysis because you're not very good with the magnet vision, just throw out one of the sensor grenades. And don't be stingy with the sensor grenades either. If you want to use them, use them. You don't have to, but they'll definitely help. Whenever you go to an ammo box, it will refill them, so it makes perfect sense to use them whenever you need them. And I get a little bit cocky here, and I stand up and I run towards this checkpoint, and apparently somebody's got really good eyesight, because somebody starts to see me. There we go. But I'm so far away that it doesn't matter. And when you come over here, you should have to wait for your team, but I'm probably going to trim that out. Oh, it's the end of the video, so you're going to see the next section in the next video. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.